Hello, hello, and welcome to the CTB Show. Today is October 20th, 2021. The weather still too goddamn warm. If you're at brunch looking in a mirror and you say Bloody Mary 3 times, what happens? Welcome to the show.
Mimosa, mimosa, mimosa.
My name is Evan the Slayer. That is Brian the Creepy.
What the fuck is this shit?
And that is Casey the Killsome.
You are my buddy until the end.
Hey, it's Ted Lasso again.
Is that Ted Lasso? Ted Lasso is that Korean one, right?
Yeah, that's Squid
Yes,
Lasso.
yes.
All right, another show for you. The spooky season continues. We're going to talk about the Chucky movies in the second half of the show and some other scary stuff.
Everyone knows.
What's going on, Brian?
Everyone knows that you call soccer Squid Games because you lose your legs. Because you use your legs. So Squid Games. That's all about that soccer coach, right?
Is that how squids play soccer?
Everybody calls soccer Squid Games. You know that. I don't have to tell you that. That already known information. Hey, I'm pretty excited though because we rolled right after that, right over what I said. We have gotten our first negative comment on on YouTube.
Oh, I thought you were making some sort of Animal House reference because of your T-shirt.
No. I am quoting the auteur
yes.
who left on our YouTube page. WTF is this shit?
Yep.
And I think it might have even been #IT.
Something like that, yes.
I'm pretty excited about it. What the fuck is this shit? This is tell your friends. Tell everyone you know. This is Americana folk art of the internet. And I just think everyone should know about it. So if you enjoyed what you saw, but had questions, tell your friends and keep listening. And pound that like and subscribe button.
Whip out your dick and pound on that subscribe button.
Oh,
Well, unless you don't have a dick, and then I don't know.
How?
Pencil.
Hey, listen. Everyone has the right to not have a dick. How do you think even you, Casey, how do you think they found... What were they watching that the city that breeds YouTube was like, oh, what's that nutbag's name? Vince Russo or something? They're like, oh, show me some more Mid-Atlantic podcasts, please. So anyway, to all of our new listeners, viewers, welcome to the show. Thanks. Tell your friends.
Yeah, thanks, Brian, for that incredibly eloquent question and answer.
Energetic.
High energy, not slurring your words.
Thank you. I've had a beer and a half, so
yeah.
Watch out, world. I smoked a ton of pot.
Yeah, you usually do that 24/7. I don't know how you manage to do it in your sleep.
You know how some people have a CPAP machine?
Oh yeah,
I have
a weed pap.
Weed pap was funnier than CPAP.
Okay.
I have a weed pap machine. It gives me weed and pastures.
Oh,
all while I sleep.
You know, prevention worth a pound of cure. Ounce.
You know. Everything's gruesome.
All right, let's move along. We've got some Baltimore topics, a few quick ones because I really want to talk about these Chucky movies. But first and foremost, I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, if you live in the Baltimore area, you may be well aware that one company known as Comcast that owns NBC, Universal, and lots of other properties and has an absolute stranglehold on the city of Baltimore when it comes to cable options and or internet connections. To my knowledge, there is one other company that does internet in the city of Baltimore. It's called Port Networks. You have to have a dish that's pointed at their like tower, which I'm convinced is somehow feeding into some sort of energy beacon that is going to
those
turn everyone into
chemtrails?
goo. Yeah, chemtrails. That's exactly right. But no, a new contender has entered the ring and won T-Mobile. They have finally gotten their 5G network up, and I went ahead and I got the T-Mobile home internet. It is awesome. I'm so ecstatic to be able to get rid of my shitty ass Comcast cable modem and their cripplingly slow speeds because everyone's on a shared connection. Fuck you, Comcast. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
I don't have cable. I mostly work with Roku and all of the weird sub channels on HD.
Yeah.
So congratulations. This is internet only, I'm guessing.
But does your house only? Do you not have an internet connection?
No, we have the internet.
Okay, from whom?
I guess Comcast. Is this a timeshare? What is happening right now? Are you?
Yes, Brian. Let
do
me
you get
tell you
do you
about
get
the virtues of high-speed internet for $50
Do you
a
get a
month.
fucking commission? What is happening right now?
What if we did, Brian? What if we did?
It's not a pyramid scheme. It's a multi-level marketing.
I think we have to tell. Is this an ad? What is?
No, it is not, Brian. This is an opportunity for you to get in at the ground level of high-speed internet.
How much money do I have to give you?
A nominal fee of $35, and then once you sign up, once you sign,
this is like if I came over to your house for a nice breakfast, and you've started telling me about like the blender that you use. When is the smart bullet coming out?
Oh wait, no, because I have a Ninja. I can tell you all about the Ninja. That's available online.
It was the magic.
$129. Comes with a free month of T-Mobile internet service.
I guess that one you could get off of our Amazon link.
Yes, you could. cityofthebreeds.com/deals.
Don't expect that to get that before next March. Supply chain or something. I don't know.
Oh God. Dude, you've
I've
got
just
the finger
heard
on the
some
pulse.
words. Supply chain. Apparently, there's a blockade. We're not letting people into ports.
Nope.
You know, I'm glad that they have decided to really destroy our economy with this pandemic or supply chain demic or whatever.
Yeah, it was Fauci and Biden got together with Clinton and all of the other pedophiles, and made it all the supply chains go away.
But I heard they had good pizza.
But yes, very good pizza. Oh, speaking of which, we watched a documentary. We watched a documentary enough. T-Mobile rules. Go get it.
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I can't get it.
Oh, too bad. Yeah, I guess they started installing the 5G cans, as they call them, in the neighborhood a while ago, and it's fine. It's great. You just get a free modem like in your house, and that's it. You don't have to lease it from Comcast. Anyway, so we were watching the documentary, and there was an episode of something where they went to Galaxy Pizza or whatever it's called, and like interviewed the people about what it was like to go through all of that. And man, it sounded awful, really, really awful. And there was like all the video of the guy that showed up with a gun, who was putting himself on not Facebook Live, but maybe YouTube or something like that, on his way to Galaxy Pizza, saying like, I'm about to save the day, and everybody he shows up with a gun, and they all like let him through to inspect the place. And he's just like breaking shit and trying to find secret doors and whatnot. And he doesn't. And like the cops show up and arrest the man, and they're like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, try to save the children. And they're like, what are you talking about? And one of the other cops just goes, Gah, QAnon.
Is this like live? Is it? I mean, like this is like actual video?
Yes. Not a reenactment.
Not a reenactment.
Oh, but if it were.
If it were, that would be awesome. I heard that there are now like QAnonanonymous groups where like people are like, hey, maybe we've gotten like, maybe we need to like have group therapies to de-brainwash us. And people are starting to do that. I'm all for it. I would like to go to that way more than like an Al-Anon, because I feel like the Al-Anon stories are depressing. The QAnon stories are like, yeah, come on, tell me more about your lunacy.
Right. It's far more at least quietly amusing, because the person wasn't like passed out in a gutter somewhere. They were just like glued to their computer screen and just really getting into the QAnon. Ooh, QAnonanonymous. Title
Take
of the
your
episode.
shirt off. Take off your shirt. Paint your chest. Put on a headdress.
Yeah.
Storm the Capitol.
Just normal ass shit. You know,
Normal January things to do.
Just the stuff that anybody's doing on a brisk January afternoon when, just try, like, they heard that there was like heat in that building. They just wanted to get warm. They were wearing
this party's gonna be lit.
I'm going to bring my grappling hook and scale the wall and then try to punch my way through some windows and get in there and curl up by the space heater in Nancy Pelosi's office. Next to Adam Carolla's niece.
All they knew is that they heard there was an underground rave. They were just trying to, they did a lot of Molly. Just trying to get in.
Yeah.
Sounds normal to me.
Well, anyway, speaking of Joe Biden, he's coming to Baltimore tomorrow for a town hall. Wow.
So let's go, Brandon. That is my new thing that I hate so fucking much.
Yeah, it's one of the most obnoxious fucking things on earth, especially because it's caught on because it was a mistake. It was like a commentator trying to like cover up ignorance. And now it's like, oh, this is hilarious. We're all trolling the entire world by shouting, let's go, Brandon.
It's a code that nobody knows what it means. Really looking forward to that guaranteed Trump victory in 2024. That's going to be a joy. That's going to be a joy to live through. Did you see that shit? We haven't done like a full on did you see for most of a year, and it's been delightful. Did you see that shit that he put out about Colin Powell?
Yeah, Colin Powell was going to be one of the things I wanted to bring up. And then I found out what Donald Trump said about him.
Wild.
Like, holy shit. Wow. This guy does not give a fuck about what he says about dead people. I mean,
he's like, this guy fucking sucked, but people are being really nice to him now he's dead. Hope someone's nice to me when I'm dead. It's like, bro.
He got us into that fucking shitty forever war in Iraq, and the fake news media like supported the whole thing. Yeah, I hope people are nice to me when I'm dead.
It's like, no.
What do you think people are going to say about Donald Trump when he finally passes away, when he finally gets run over by a dump truck somehow?
Well, I feel like he's got a half-life of 3 weeks, right? Like, the only person who eats as much fucking McDonald's as that guy is me. Like, Donald Trump and I both have big red circles around November 1st, just waiting for the McRib to come back. And this guy is like, but I'm nicer to people than he is. Like, I feel like maybe we're both the same kind of narcissist, but I'm kind.
If you could talk with Donald Trump, like in a vacuum, about, hopefully he's in a vacuum, but no, you get to talk to him about fast food. What are the 3 questions you would ask him?
1, I'd ask him to sell me on honey mustard for McDonald's nuggies.
Okay.
2, I'd ask if he knows about I'd like a double cheeseburger with lettuce and mac sauce, please. And 3, I'd ask him, just what do you think about like In-N-Out? Like, it's pretty good, right? I asked if he ever had In-N-Out. I
bet he hasn't.
I asked him about like Whataburger. I mean, like, yo, have you had Whataburger? Because I haven't, but I hear it's good.
Right. That's the Texas one, right?
I'd be like, you're kidding about that KFC shit, right? Like, once a year, grab like, this would be fun for the kids. Let's have some KFC. But he hates his fucking kids. So what's the deal there?
I think he's getting back to In-N-Out Burger. I think he's so like such an asshole and such a juvenile dimwit that he would say, oh, I've never had In-N-Out. I hear it's terrible because it's California based or something.
My favorite restaurant is the Times Square McDonald's, except for it's a homeless bathroom.
Nice.
Giuliani was totally inept because he couldn't get the homeless out of the Times Square McDonald's.
Where is Giuliani now? Is he going to jail? Who's going to jail? Is anyone going to jail?
No one's going to jail, man.
Well, they with what's his face, Bannon. They like moved to. I don't know. Like, I don't pretend to understand completely what's going on with that process, but they're like holding in criminal contempt. So I don't know if that means like they still have to like make another vote, and then they can go and arrest him, or if they just wag their finger.
People going to people actually going to jail for being held in contempt is very rare when it comes to like this congressional crap. I think one of the last people that did go to jail was Susan McDougal, and she was in jail for a year and a half.
Who's Susan McDougal? Is she Bill Clinton?
Yeah, she was the Bill Clinton thing, like Watergate, or not Watergate, Whitewater, and refused to talk or something. Something to that effect. I was very young at the time, and I'm riffing on memories here, but it is not something that happens often.
You're not watching American Crime Story Impeachment?
No. Oh, but I am waiting for that. Ooh, who's going to play Donald Trump? Who is going to play Donald Trump in the Ryan Murphy production, True Crime Impeachment or whatever?
Her name's not Laura Linney, but what's that broad's name? She does everything. She put on that fat suit for Linda Trump.
Sarah Paulson.
Yeah, Sarah Paulson is Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Laura Linney is Sarah Paulson in Sarah Paulson's 2016 to 2020.
If I had Photoshop skill, I would pay $10 to get someone to Photoshop that for the thumbnail of this episode.
In a rare dramatic turn, Kristen Wiig is Donald Trump. Hi, it's me, Kristen Wiig.
Sorry.
And
Trumpy.
I don't know. Who? I want to say Bobby Moynihan, but no, that's not good enough.
Frank Caliendo.
Frank Caliendo's Kenny Rogers is. Was that Frank Caliendo or was that Will Sasso?
Louis Anderson plus 20 pounds is Donald Trump.
Get me Putin on the phone.
You're the enemy of the people.
It would just be him. It would just be himself because
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump as Donald Trump.
Finally get the chance to tell my story when I want to.
From my
Home Alone
mouth.
3. Home Alone 4.
Home Alone for the holidays. What's it called? There's that. I didn't watch the trailer. Did you? Donald Trump is Kevin McAllister in Home Alone.
Home Alone?
It's a reboot of
Home Alone.
All right. Anyway, Biden's coming to town. We're going to have a town hall. Do you suppose there are going to be any protests outside because lack of bike infrastructure in America or something like that?
No, I think they're going to be protests outside because of the brainwashing of morons. Oh my God. When is it? It's tomorrow?
Yeah. Well, today as this airs.
Oh, what time? We don't have time to warn the people.
What people?
Or Brian Levy, who's planning on driving to the city tomorrow around 3 p.m.
Well, don't.
Oh, yeah, I would look that information up ahead of time, Brian. Yeah, you don't want to get stuck in that nonsense because when any elected official comes into the city, they basically shut down like every fucking road to make room for the barricade city. It's basically like Escape from New York, but Baltimore. Ooh,
well,
that would be a fun movie.
What about 695?
The Baltimore Center Stage. Baltimore Center Stage is what they're
right.
doing.
So right in the middle of downtown, basically, that is going to be a shit show.
I was gonna take MLK.
You're not now.
Might want to go a little further west.
Yeah, people on Reddit were already saying that parts of the city are shut down.
Oh God, I better warn my lawyer in training girlfriend about school.
What about Glen Burnie? Want to be able to get to Glen Burnie?
You might have to just, Brian, from the Hamden zone.
Okay.
Go west. Get on the Hilton Parkway.
And then
go south, and then you'll eventually hit 695. That'll get you there.
Yeah, take it.
You're good where you are. You can entirely avoid going south, like through the city.
Yeah, I'm gonna head north and then I'm gonna head east.
You just go up that 83 there. You get on the old Northern Parkway there. You go west there, and then you hook it up with the 695.
No, I'm just just take 83 to 695 and then
no, dude. No. You get on 41st Street, you go west, you keep going west, you loop around, you go down Park Heights, then you take a left onto Hilton Parkway, you go to Hilton Parkway to Caton Avenue, you take a left, then you get on 695, 95 South, then you get 695, then you hit Route 2, I'm assuming, and then you bomb all the way down and get to your girlfriend.
This is the worst Californians ever.
Listen, if I have to listen to every LA-based fucking podcast talk about the
Isn't it the weirdest
405,
thing?
then every once in a while, like I get to drop a route. Okay.
They all talk about like their favorite Del Taco in the strip mall by their house, and I'm like, I don't have Del Tacos here. I don't.
Yeah. I know the names of more locations in fucking California than I do in Pennsylvania. That's for sure.
It's the weirdest thing, but I love it. I love it.
I guess that's something we should do, to really get it to catch on. Is like, oh man, I'm listening to the podcast, the CTB Show, and they mentioned that McDonald's that Brian likes to go to, and I like it too. Hey,
keep an eye out for our favorite fast food spot merch T-shirts coming up. Falls Road McDonald's coming for you.
There you go. Yeah. Brian will be spinning that free merch T-shirt sign. It's an arrow that is made of French fries, and it's pointing at a pile of T-shirts brimming out of his trunk.
Real quick,
are you the mayor of the? Are you the mayor of that establishment?
Mayor McCheese.
No, on Foursquare. Yes, Casey, I still do use Foursquare. It only works on my BlackBerry, but I'm really killing it.
No, now it's called Swarm, Casey. Foursquare is just the curating, the local Google local version of Foursquare. But it was pretty sweet back when if you were the mayor, you would get like a free small fry or something when you would go in.
Oh yeah.
And then people would just completely cheat and log in, check in when they were like 87 miles away.
Here's how long ago Foursquare was. The Cougar used it to track my movements. Like,
oh yeah, okay.
That's why I had to stop using Foursquare.
It's pretty dangerous stuff.
I had a middle-aged stalker at 25.
Yeah, it was long enough ago that Twitter was fun.
Oh my gosh. Those were the days.
Back when you were on Facebook.
What was that? That was so good. We're great. What the fuck is this?
So
what the
good.
Fuck are you,
so
friend?
Good.
Thank you, Casey. Boy, it sure does make me smile.
Yeah. Oh, is that what we're doing? I mean, we can. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm empty. I need another beer.
Yeah, we got some Chucky shit to talk about. All right, it's now time to celebrate. The internet sensation sweeping the nation. It's time for shout-outs. I love it. Shout-outs. This is the part of the show in which we give Matt props, aka shout-outs, to persons, places, and things that are giving us jollies and improving our quality of life. Casey, we have a bunch. Our various outlets. A big shout-out ahead of time to the Discord, because a lot of people on the Discord gave us some shout-outs to read, but also on Facebook. So let's do it. Casey, read them off.
Evan says, shout out to this idea of creating a thread for the shout-outs. Liz G says, I wanted to give a shout out to the Brazilian Thai Monkey Highway. They turned an abandoned gas station into a sweet outdoor dining spot and are now sharing space with Barracudas, which had a fire this summer and can't reopen yet.
Local food. I got to check that place out.
Also there, so I had to look this up, Faizwada, I believe that's how it's pronounced, is the real deal, unlike the other place. Yeah, I actually drove by that place not too long ago, and they look interesting.
What is it?
It's just like an outdoor. They literally turned it like an old gas station into this like food truck, like semi-permanent structure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This looks cool. Sweet outdoor dining spot. Exactly. It's a very good description. Tronster says meta shout out for Casey's Nightmare on CTB Street Song. Almost as good as Brian's. Thank you for being a crab.
Does Brian even know what we're talking about?
Crab. Nope.
Is that a thing I did once?
Many talking about. It was a while ago.
Do you know what Tronster's talking about? My post.
Didn't you sing? Oh yeah, 1, 2. Brian's coming for you. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Fuck you, Casey.
Whoa! Keep going.
Jeff says, "Shout out to Cleveland. Was there for work. Nice place. recommend.
Wow, everybody would love to drop everything and head to the Cleve, but some of us have lives. That's from 30 Rock.
Rocks.
All the little chicks with the crimson lips.
That is not it. That's it from. Is that it? Wait, okay. We must have had more shut-ups then. Anyway.
Yeah, we have a lot of shut-ups.
Very good. My shout-out this week is to pet doors. I installed one. It's great. I like not having to open the door every time the animal wants to go outside. Yay. Brian, what do you got?
Wow. Hey, listen, a couple of different shout-outs. Shout out to me. Apparently, after next semester, I'll just have one semester left, and then I'll be a college graduate. Double shout-out to the fact that I had 2 classes cancel on Tuesday, and I was out of there by 1:45.
Did you ride your bike?
Did you go to work after that?
No, I did not go to work, Casey. I did nothing. I have no job.
You sure don't.
But you know what? I've invested in my human capital.
Your mustache?
Oh, look at this. Also, shout out to this fucking sexy middle-aged cop look I got. I've got some real
you forgot
David
air quotes.
David Arquette in later Scream sequels going on.
Yeah,
that again. That sucks. But otherwise, I got these gray temples that are awesome.
It looks like you got rejected from casting for Super Troopers 2.
Hey, listen. Hey, everybody. If Freddie Mercury got old and fat, this is what he would have looked like. So, suck on that.
Let's never think about that. Casey, what
just
do you got?
Freddie Mercury did.
Oh, shout out to having the largest stash of unopened and unassembled Lego sets. Now that my 3-year-old is just hardcore into the Lego proper and graduated from the Duplos. So that is coming in handy right now.
Well, you don't have him on Technic? What is he, stupid?
He's 3, Brian.
Oh, well, you know what? Maybe, I guess it sounds like I was an early bloomer then.
Great. You're a genius. All right, that has been shout-outs. We are going to take a break so Brian can get a beer.
Did you get him an Erector set?
Brian, leave.
Bonus.
All right.
Child's Play, a terrifying new movie.
Oh, good show. But it was scary. He kept saying it was only a movie.
Right when you think everything's over, bam, it all starts up again.
Freddy's dead. Long live Chucky.
Child's Play.
Chucky.
Rated R.
Starts Wednesday, November 9th at a theater near you.
And we're back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as promised last week, we are going to continue our spooky movie season and talk about the franchise known as Child's Play, aka the Chucky films. Wow, this franchise has been around a while. If you're going to talk about the big 5 or whatever, you got your Nightmare on Elm Streets, you got your Friday the 13th, you got your Halloweens, you got your Jawses.
Jaws we're going to include? Okay.
What am I missing here? Child's Play, and that's 5.
Well, you said 5. You said 5.
I said the big 5.
You're including Jaws and not, let's say, Leatherface.
Chainsaw Massacre, I guess, except that there were 2 of them, and then they remade it 3 times or something like that.
But when I think about the iconic horror figures of the 80s and 90s,
sure,
he's still one of them.
Okay, that's fine. Then we'll extend the list to 6.
Well, can we make it 7 and get that little gnome guy from Cat's Eye?
I mean, if we're gonna really extend the list, we're gonna go with Leprechaun and Puppet Master.
I'm the Leprechaun.
And
Leprechaun.
What was the one with the orb?
Jennifer Aniston.
Jennifer Aniston.
This is his first movie, right?
Oh, what about Warlock?
Orb.
Yeah, not so much a
Hellraiser.
franchise. Hellraiser, good franchise, yeah.
What? There were like a billion Warlock movies.
Oh, did you already say Puppet Master?
I did say Puppet Master.
How do we miss Pinhead?
It happens, Brian. Sometimes it happens. Okay, just roll with it for fuck's sake. Jesus Christ! The point is, this movie franchise has I guess it's still within its own continuity. It's been going on since 1989 or so.
88.
88. Brian, you watched the
88.
first one, the second one. I watched the third one, and then the fifth one. Casey, you watched the 2019 reboot, which is a real reboot. It has nothing to do with all of the other movies. But then the original canon is still going on in the form of a television show.
It's what's really interesting, and I think Brian, you alluded to this last week. So it was MGM, I believe, owns the rights to the original Child's Play. It's Universal owns kind of everything after that. So MGM is the entity that decided to reboot Child's Play in 2019. It was released to film in 2019 without the involvement of the original creative team, while they were still making Chucky movies and television shows. Like they literally like announced the TV show, and then they're like, "Hey guys, we're having our own thing." So there's
it's like a never say never again scenario where Sean Connery came back as James Bond in that weird movie.
Yeah, very
good.
Exactly.
It's okay.
And so there was actually a scene in the reboot where they had to change it from when it was originally written because it was too close to something in one of the other Child's Play movies, and their legal was like, "No, that's too close. We can't we're gonna get sued." So that's interesting.
So we all watched a good smattering of these Child's Play. Oh, I would like to say that before we get too far in the movies, in my commercial watching before the show, I did see a Child's Play commercial starring one Mr. You know, it was the kind where they were like, and I'm not going to get back to it. It was the kind where it's like the audience is like, "That was so scary," and the other guy's like, "Oh yeah, she had to watch it through her fingers," and then like, and then one guy who went, "Whoa, whoa," and if you look how I'm moving my head on the YouTube, maybe you can guess because he probably should go, "Whoa, babe," because it was Mr. Dennis Miller in like an audience Child's Play thing. Like, Child's Play is a great movie, babe. In 1988, I guess he just wasn't famous enough yet. He got some commercial work.
He was on SNL at the time, wasn't he?
I don't know, man. It looked like hold on.
Are you sure it was Dennis Miller?
Here's what I'm gonna do. While I talk about the first Child's Play movie, I'm also gonna pull it up on my YouTube and see what I can find.
Please don't do that. Casey, you do it and do a share screen. You're a co-host.
Okay, that sounds good.
Me to share?
So look for Child's Play commercials. 80s,
with Dennis Miller in it.
None of us watched the same movies, which is hilarious to me. But at the same time,
there's a lot of ground to cover, though.
Not only that, but I've seen the first one multiple times, and I know what happens in the second one, and I had never really seen the third one.
I don't know if I've seen it in 30 years. Like, it's been that long since I've seen any of these movies.
Right.
So I watched the first one, and it's wild because, like, at the beginning of it, it's just like, oh, we're starting right here in the middle of this, like in the middle of the action. Like Chris Sarandon, Susan Sarandon's brother, is running after like Brad Dourif, and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna get you, Strangler," and they're like, "Oh, you'll never catch me alive, copper." And then all of a sudden, it's like, I've been hit. I gotta hide out, and it starts saying all this voodoo shit.
Like, did he do the voodoo? Wait, did he already know the voodoo?
Yes,
he already knew the voodoo because midway through the movie, Mister, I've seen it so many times. He goes to visit his voodoo.
Hey, first
teacher,
of all, Brian, fuck yourself. Second, I had a memory hole in which I couldn't remember how he got from like being shot or whatever it was to being transferred into Chucky.
Well, he does a whole lot of like voodoo words, and honestly, it seems pretty easy to insert yourself into a living doll. So
yeah, he needs no prompting or anything. Like he can just start saying the words, and clouds will gather, and lightning strikes, and then he always gets interrupted.
Super easy, no trouble at all. He can do it wherever he wants. You just got to put like a little pinky on you. I mean, luckily he can only do it to Andy, so that's good for everybody else. But his little body will like.
Do they explain that? Other than he's like the only one who knows the secret.
Yes, because Andy was the first person to see that Chucky revealed himself to. He's the only person that Chucky can he's the only person that Chucky can put his soul into.
Is that the rule that the person
boy.
has to know that he is Charles Lee Ray and not a doll that is being creepy?
Yes.
Okay.
He has to jump into so because he whispered, "I'm Charles Lee Ray, Andy, and if you don't do what I say, I'll fucking kill you." And then he's like, "Oh, the doll just said this," and like the mom from Seventh Heaven is like, "All right, Andy, wild imagination. No more news to you." Okay, so I don't know. I have paused my television where I believe that Dennis Miller is in this commercial. Casey, have you found it?
I couldn't find anything.
It's absolutely Dennis Miller.
It's
called Child's Play feature film movie television commercial 1988 fan reaction. He's in there in about 10 seconds. I'm telling you, it exists. I saw it.
I don't know that you can do share screen on your phone, Brian.
No, I can, and it's also on my television. I would have to like pick up like my ring light.
Oh yeah, we're not going to do that.
Point it at the TV.
You know what? We can put it in the show notes or something like that.
Or something. So anyway, then they do end up murdering Chucky. They end up killing Chucky. But like Child's Play 2 happens 2 years later. So they just jump over like the whole like, how are they gonna explain all these dead people and like 4 or 5 people who are like, yeah, who was that killer doll? It was that killer doll did it. And like a couple, because not only does Chris Sarandon know, his partner know also.
Oh yeah.
They're like, yo, like the 2 cops are gonna say it was a living doll that did it. Well, good news. Please, Casey,
people know that it was a doll, right? Like that's the most like mind-blowing thing is that like everybody knows that like the good guy doll came to life and killed people. And the corporate entity is like, no, we fixed the problem. There's no killer dolls, and like relaunches, right?
Well, so at the beginning of 2, and this is why I really want to watch 2 because I was like, well, how the fuck does 2 even happen? Right. So what happens? Like what happens?
But this is one of my favorite things about these movies is how does the villain, how does the character get killed at the end, and how do they bring it back in the subsequent film? And in this one, it's just kind of like whatever is available. That's how it happens. And number 2, go.
Oh, so in 2, what you see in the beginning is a whole bunch of people like cleaning off like the burnt up Chucky from the beginning, but then like making a new Chucky out of the pieces of the old Chucky. And what happens is it's because the company wanted to prove that it was cool, like Chucky's fine. See, we can even take the bones of this murderous doll and like he's a Chucky.
It's fine.
And he's just fine. It's fine, except for the fact that when they're sticking the eyes into Chucky, the guy who's manning the machine is electrocuted and dies.
Right, and that's what brings Chucky back officially.
Correct.
Right.
So that's how Chucky, because the bones were good, like an old house.
Yeah.
Child's Play 2 is very, very boring. Not good. Did not enjoy it. Evan, what happens in Child's Play 3?
So I would like for us to revisit what kills Chucky at the end of 2 is basically an air cannon.
Yes, correct.
Some melted plastic.
Well, not an air cannon so much as just like an air hose. Very
Got it. Yeah, blows up his head. And then at the beginning of 3, we're in the toy factory, like 8 years later or something like that.
8 years later.
Yeah, and then like so they're cleaning out all of the doll heads off the conveyor belts and whatever, and this like from the machine where you pick up a prize, and it dump it down the chute, like this claw comes down and picks up the Chucky hunk that's been sitting on the floor for 8 years, by the way, and blood starts coming out of it, and it like it's carrying the Chucky hunk over top of a boiling vat of plastic, and the blood goes into the plastic. And in what is actually a pretty cool sequence, the credit sequence is like this slow-mo, like plastic congealing, backwards sequence where the Chucky doll is being formed. And then finally his
like Joker coming out.
A little bit like that. But then finally the head, forms and the mouth starts moving, and Chucky just goes, no! Because I guess he didn't want to be alive still. I don't know what the point of that was, but then the plot is essentially like the toy company is still trying to make the corporate profits and convince everyone that Chucky dolls are good. Chucky is in the big wig's corporate office, and he proceeds to murder the CEO by tripping him with marbles, hitting him with a dart, hitting him with a golf club, and then choking him to death with a yo-yo. And this
is all just laying around in the boardroom.
Yep. And then the first
toy company, Casey.
Yeah, the first line that Chucky says in this movie is "Don't fuck with the Chuck," and then he kills the guy with some stuff. Hilarious.
So I'm glad you mentioned the word trip. One of the problems I have with these movies is that Chucky just does not seem. His main weapon is tripping. He does not seem like a formidable enemy. Like,
just
does he have
that
like,
baby? Just kick it.
Does he kick that baby? Does he have like super strength? Why are people having so much trouble with this cloth and plastic doll? I understand that he's becoming human, so maybe is he like that little kid that was the bodybuilder? Like,
right, little Hercules.
Like, yeah. Why are people just be like, go away? Go away.
Right, get out of here.
Stop it.
Get out of here.
I know he has knives and I guess he's stealthy.
Something like
that.
But
he just doesn't seem like a convincing murderer.
But his form of stealth is just pretending to be a doll.
Pretending to be a dog?
A dog, yes. Arf, arf. But okay, so in 3,
pretending to be a doll.
I documented like all of the kills. He kills a man with a garbage truck compactor, laughs about it. Almost kills a guy with a knife, but the guy has a heart attack. And kills some people with live ammo. Okay, so the whole movie takes place at a military academy because Andy has been winding his way through the foster system and winds up at this military academy for youths.
And he's he's like 17 or it's like 16, 17.
He's
right?
definitely a teen at this point.
Because the movie only came out 9 months later.
Right, yes. But 8 years later in the timeline. Which is weird as hell.
It's 1998 in this
something
movie.
Like that. Yeah. So basically, most of the movie is very, very boring, and it's just like Andy being sad about Chucky. Chucky just winds up putting himself in a shipping container and somehow magically winds up at this military academy.
And this will work.
Yeah, and then immediately is found by a young cadet kid who is very sort of like naive and Chucky immediately is like, actually, my real name is Charles, and tells him the secret. So then he tries to transfer himself into the little kid, but keeps getting interrupted. And then finally, Chucky basically hijacks like this military games game they're doing and sneaks all the live rounds into the fake guns. And so all the kids start killing each other, and he like throws a grenade. And then somehow they wind up in an amusement park. And then they wind up on an indoor,
just like Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Yes, kind of like that actually. And then they're on this indoor roller coaster that has a horror theme. Chucky gets his face cut off by a scythe from a Grim Reaper prop that somehow, for some reason, has a real scythe, and it's just like swatting it left and right. Then he gets his arm blown off by a pistol. Then he gets his hand cut off by a knife, and then he gets turned into absolute goo by a high-speed exhaust fan. The end. And I don't know how he comes back in Bride of Chucky, except that Jennifer Tilly doll, aka Tiffany, sews him back together because he's in evidence.
And then she brings him back.
Right, brings him back. She gets transferred into another doll. They do the things in Bride of Chucky that I didn't watch, and they give birth to another doll at the end of that movie, which brings us to Seed of Chucky, which is the other one that I watched. What's that?
He's all emo, right? The sun doll is a whiner.
Yeah, he's okay. First of all, 2004, Seed of Chucky. If you haven't seen it, it's on Peacock. Watch it. It is the most bonkers fucking movie I've ever seen. I don't know how this movie got made. It is wacky. It's like a roller. It's like an amusement park ride. It is not a movie. It is just something weird to watch.
Method Man is in it, right?
No, Red Man is in it, or as they call him in the movie, Redman.
Redman.
They literally call him.
Hello, Redman.
Yes. My name is Redman. I'm a rapper. I am trying to have sex with Jennifer Tilly because she wants a role in my movie as the Virgin Mary. That is actually the plot.
I watched some of it the other day on Sci-Fi, like 20 minutes.
John Waters has a bit part in this movie. He gets melted by acid.
As a paparazzi.
They for some reason kill Britney Spears by driving her car off a cliff, and then
is it actually Britney?
No, it's like a Britney lookalike. And then Chucky says, "Oops, I did it again."
I'm on your side, Eminem.
But the sun doll is the craziest part because the sun is a doll, so it doesn't have genitals. So they do this whole plot line where he's trying to figure out what if he's a girl or a boy. And so it does a whole Glenn or Glenda thing, and it's insane. It makes no sense. But what makes even less sense is that in a scene in the movie, Chucky jerks off in a bathroom and produces a sperm sample. They kidnap Jennifer Tilly, real life Jennifer Tilly, knock her out, and use a turkey baster to inseminate her with Chucky's sperm. You need to see this movie. It is insane. And then
sounds right.
Jennifer Tilly, in short order, in a very short amount of time, gives birth to human twins.
Question.
That's after.
What's that?
That's after they possess the Jennifer Tilly doll. I forget what the character name is. She then possesses
Tiffany.
Jennifer Tilly.
Right.
Tiffany.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So Jennifer Tilly goes into Jennifer Tilly goes into Jennifer Tilly. There's a funny part where
gives birth.
where Tiffany the doll is on the phone with like Jennifer Tilly's friend. She's in the house. They're kidnapping her, and she's supposed to be acting like Jennifer Tilly, the real person, but she's a doll. It's actually very funny. This movie has laughs. It has funny laughs in it. It is the dumbest, most insane movie ever. But yeah, eventually Chucky gets killed. The dolls get killed. Stuff happens, and then there's like another jump scare of an ending where they also do this weird bit where the boy doll pees himself, but he doesn't have genitals, and also Chucky doesn't have genitals either. So how does he produce sperm? I don't get any of it.
Well, I think because he becomes human at this point, right? Like he's become human,
or at least he's in that body. So he probably grew some nuts.
He was a doll when he was doing it. There's a part where John Waters is outside of the window, and he's snapping photos of the silhouette of Chucky jerking off, and he's like, "Oh, midget porn. Oh," he's like, "Thank goodness for the little people." And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I guess good guy dolls have balls.
Yeah, apparently they have nuts and beans and franks.
I've learned so much.
Yeah, but that brings that chapter of the Child's Play franchise to a close, and then many years later, 2007, 2009, I don't remember what year it was. They were like, you know what we need is a direct-to-video continuation of this saga.
That's Cult of Chucky.
No, it's actually Curse of Chucky.
Curse.
And I read synopses of these, but I didn't really want to watch them at all because they didn't sound fun.
They actually, I saw Cult of Chucky probably like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
And they actually have, no, it was direct to video. They're actually decent. I didn't see Curse of Chucky. I saw Cult of Chucky, but I think their reviews are fairly good. They're fairly positively received. But Cult of Chucky is wild because he just is like attacking people that are institutionalized because of the events of Curse of Chucky.
Right.
And then I think, Evan, you were pointing out that he like learns a spell on the internet and then can split his soul into multiple bodies. So it's like a certain point. Yeah, so he becomes
science,
Voldemort.
Bro.
And then
what's the
molecular
website
biology.
What's the website where you can read this voodoo curse that you can split your soul into stuff? When did Chucky get the internet? At what point did he have the opportunity to go to the public library and go onto like voodoocurses.net and search for the voodoo curse that he needed? Where did Charles Lee Ray get all of these voodoo knowledges?
I told you he met a guy, and when he met the guy also told him where he kept the voodoo doll that he made it for himself. And then Chucky's like, "You said that, tell me where you left your voodoo doll." I'm like, "Why'd you make it in the fucking first place?" And then he's like, start breaking legs and shit. It's wild. It's wild. It's wild.
But that's the whole thing about Cult of Chucky is that he's able to inhabit like multiple Chucky dolls. But then there are
and then multiple people at the end of the movie.
Right.
Yes, at the end of the movie, Jennifer Tilly shows up, and then you have a Chucky doll that is Charles Lee Ray, but then you also have Charles Lee Ray possessing the victim of Curse of Chucky.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
which brings us to the TV show. So what's up with that? I didn't even know there was a television show.
Yeah,
they brought back Andy and his friend and the teenage girl that he was hanging out with in Child's Play 2. Jennifer Tilly's in it, I think, a little bit.
Yeah, it is a direct continuation from from that movie. Yeah,
I'll have to check it. I'll have to check it out on Peacock.
Yeah, I thought this was out. Like it came out a while ago, but apparently it just October 12th was the first episode. So there's not a whole lot
for like a couple weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Child's Play.
So I watched the 2019 reboot.
Right. The
reboot sounds shitty.
So it was actually a lot more. It was a lot better than I was expecting. The big kind of change. So they get rid of the whole voodoo stuff, and Chucky is like a smart, connected doll who
Chucky's Skynet.
Yeah, he's basically Skynet, and
he's Terminator.
Like, he can control like everybody's thermostat and like self-driving cars. And so the way that he like turns murderous is that he's like broken, and he's with Andy, and they're watching
I have a question.
Chainsaw Massacre.
I have a question.
Okay.
Is the plot of the new Child's Play that his switch was flipped to evil? Because
no, so
you
actually
just gotta switch it back to good.
So actually there's a programmer who gets yelled at by his boss, and he's like, F you. And then he goes in and he changes the code and like removes the violence inhibitor and like the AI safeguards. And then he's like, ooh. And then he puts, he turns off all these AI safeguards, puts it in the doll, and then it gets shipped out, and then he kills himself. He jumps off the roof.
Why was violence included in the?
Exactly.
There are a lot
it's an AI doll. It's supposed to be like a personal assistant toy. So like it would like fetch your books and stuff, and it would learn about you.
Question.
Yeah.
Is this Monkey Shines?
Maybe.
A little bit.
But how he like turns evil is crazy because they're watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And like the kids are laughing, and then it just like triggers something, and Chucky's like, oh, this is what people want. And so then he like goes and grabs a kitchen knife. Yes, and then he's like, but he's also imprinted on Andy as his best friend. And so he's like, okay, I'm gonna kill everybody who is bad to Andy. And then it turns into, I'm going to kill everybody because they're gonna leave Andy and make Andy sad, and it's just gonna be me and Andy as friends.
That sounds dumb.
And of course, it's voiced by Mark Hamill.
So Mark Hamill is Chucky?
Yes.
Interesting.
He has a song. The Buddy song. It's amazing.
I listened to it. It's the song that plays while the credits are rolling. It's unbearable. It's so
as
bad.
Good as the Dragnet rap.
No, that Dragnet rap. Don't you fuck with that, because that is awesome. Anyway, so basically the continuing saga of original Chucky Child's Play is going to continue in television form while this reboot parallel AI. What we need is Chucky versus Chucky.
Another one.
Chucky versus Chucky.
Into the Chuckyverse?
Do well enough.
Into the Chuckyverse. Yeah, it's a multiverse of Chuckies.
That would be a great movie. Is this Loki?
Yeah. All the Chuckies get together and have to defeat the voodoo god.
My favorite Chucky is Alligator Chucky.
I like
apparently they were planning to have a crossover, kind of like Freddy versus Jason, but Freddy versus Chucky.
No.
Yeah, they were.
Chucky doesn't fucking.
They're
sleep.
planning on it.
How would that work?
Alien versus Predator versus Chucky.
Yeah. Well, one of the things they did do was that during the release of those Chucky, Cult of Chucky and Curse of Chucky's, they released these like shorts on YouTube. It was like Chucky invades another horror movie, So I watched like Chucky Invades the Purge, Chucky Invades Psycho, or something like that. There were a couple of them. They're pretty funny. So go on YouTube and watch them. Chucky Invades. Chucky. Chucky. Chucky Chucky. Chucky. And Chucky Chucky. And Chucky makes me a little angry.
I'm Charles Lee Ray.
I'm Louis Anderson. Makes me a little
The
vengeful.
new Chucky. The new Chucky.
Louis Anderson as Donald Trump as Chucky.
Or
That's Child's Play 20.
Chucky as Donald Trump.
All right. It's time to go right ahead and tell everyone to shut up. All right, it's the end of the show, episode 303, where we give aka the opposite of mad props, aka shut up. Persons, places, things that are lowering our quality of life and giving us the opposite of we might as well get all of the social media shut ups out of the way. We got a big one, baby.
Chris says, shut up to driving through Fred Hill while county folk are celebrating a win by Den Ravens.
Hate those cunts.
Johnny C says, shut up to people who park their cars at parking meters in the middle of the car.
Oddly specific.
That's from Johnny the Mailman.
I think I'm down with that one.
Jeff,
I think Johnny the Mailman's angry at me because I texted him to complain about the post office. I got nothing back from him.
Not a good move.
Jeff says, shut up to Fox News and what it's done to my mom's mental state.
Ouch.
Brent says, shut up to Uber's price gouging while most of the Washington Metro rail is down.
Ooh.
That's predatory.
Tronster says, shut up to 3-year-olds getting 102-degree fever and still having energy to jump around and not nap. How does their biology even work out?
Molecular.
The world may never know.
Literally.
Liz G says, shut up to fall allergies and shitty lungs. And that is it from the Fam Zone.
Oh, very good. What do you got, Casey?
Come back to me. I lost it. I
got to shut up. My shut up is to having to cancel my meal delivery box thing because it's getting boring. And the last 2 weeks of the broccoli has been kind of rotten, smelly, smelled bad, gross.
Well, how long are you doing it? At this point, don't you just have a whole bunch of like zoo cards that you can just pull out of your handy dandy carrying case?
Yes, I do, Brian. I put them all in a binder. I've got all of them.
Look at my zoo books of restaurant.
I miss zoo books. I miss them.
They're still around. I think we might actually have some for the little one.
This one's about giraffes.
Let me pull out my handy dandy reference card that I carry around my plastic case.
Brian, what do you got?
You know what? I've been having a bunch of good weeks. Oh, I got a fucking parking ticket at school the other day. I have a parking pass for the what's it called? For the
Brian,
garages.
You can't just park across 3 handicap spaces because it's closest to the door to get in.
What I did is I stopped in the middle of a ramp and said, I got class. I'll see you guys in an hour. I just hoped it went okay.
Yeah.
You know, car was still there when I
except that the ramp was off of 695.
It was off of 695.
I have a permit.
I slammed on my brakes and said, I hope you don't hit me.
Casey, have you come up with a shut up?
Yes, I got 2. Shut up to breakthrough COVID cases. Like 3 people I know, if their entire families have come down with breakthrough COVID cases.
Yikes.
So that sucks. And shut up to the hospital not catching my son's lip tie when we were there. So thankfully we've got that diagnosed and all will be well.
Very good.
What does that mean?
It means like his lip is like attached to like the top of his gum. So like when he eats, he just gets kind of a bunch of air in his belly.
Gassy.
Aw.
Yeah.
So what'd you do? Just take like some scissors?
All right, there's some shut-ups.
He's a baby. He'll never remember. Just wash them off. Use the chicken scissors.
All right, that has been episode 383 of the CTB Show. I hope you have enjoyed our Child's Play chat. I really do recommend, if you have Peacock, to watch Seed of Chucky. It is insane, and I think most of the other Child's Play movies are on the Peacock. So,
but not one. Can I tell you? Somebody owes me $4 because I had to rent Child's Play 1 on Vudu.
Is that because it's owned by the different Universal versus whatever?
I just have no idea.
Yeah, sorry.
MGM. I speaking of Peacock, I watched Halloween, and Halloween Kills is now available in their streaming service. I'm probably gonna check that out next.
Yep. Maybe we could talk about those two movies next week. But no, actually, we're going to talk about Brian's topic. What makes a horror movie? Is it molecular biology? We'll find out.
It's gone. Here, just think on this. It's Gone Girl, a horror movie. Don't tell me. I don't hear any answers.
It's a Christmas movie, Brian.
Maybe. I've never seen it.
Oh, okay.
But I'll tell you, it's not a horror movie. We'll get to it next week.
Is Nightmare Before Christmas a Halloween or a Christmas movie?
No one's talking about Halloween movies. The fuck are you talking about? Who gives a shit about Halloween movies? How about scary movies, horror movies? What is a horror movie? We'll talk about it next week.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching. If you are, leave us terrible comments. We want to hear your snide remarks. Thank you very much for being.
Tell me
what is this shit? What is this shit?
What the fuck is this shit?
Yeah.
It's quality.
Thank you very much for being a foe. Thank you very much for being a detractor. Have a bad
quality
day.
It's quality commensurate with what you're paying.
That's correct. Have a bad day and a worse tomorrow.